So I had a DEXA scan done 6 weeks ago, and I had 2 results from that scan, which I was not expecting. So I'm going to take you through the results that I got today and tell you a bit more about what a DEXA scan actually is. So what's a DEXA scan? Well, it's an acronym which is DEXA, and it stands for Dual Energy X-ray Absorptiometry. I had to refer to my notes then. And it's basically a medical imaging technique where you lay down on this flat bed and there's a thing goes over the top of you, does 2 passes, and it beams X-rays at you. Very low energy X-rays, which is about the same dose that you'd receive if you were outside for a few hours, or about 1/3 of what you'd receive if you were on an international flight. Now, why did I get a DEXA scan? Well, I'm curious. I wanted to understand what my body fat composition was. Wanted to understand how much muscle mass I had in my body, and also was interested in my bone density because I'm getting older. I'm 53 years old now, and I just wanted to see where I was at with that. And the DEXA scan is considered to be the gold standard when it comes to measuring your body composition. Cost-wise, it was about $110, I think, for me to get that done here in Sydney in Australia. And it only took it was half an hour. So I went into the appointment. It was 5 minutes for the scan, another 10 minutes to get the results. And then a technician interpreted those results for me, which took about another 15 minutes. So this is what the results look like. So it's just 2 pages. This one is for the body composition, and that one is for my bone density. And I also got another one which was for the interpretation, which is this one here. So what I'm going to do now is take you through the interpretation. So the first one is the body mass index. That's just basically your weight in kilograms over your height squared. And I was considered to be overweight on that basis. You don't need to get a DEXA scan to work out your BMI, and it's not a very useful measurement because it can be thrown off, as you can see, if you have a relatively low percentage of body fat or a reasonably high amount of muscle mass on your body. And the technician said they pretty much ignore that measurement because they've got all these other measurements which are much more useful. So the next one was the total body fat percentage, which was 16.4%. And that was the first one I was surprised by. I thought I would be more like around about 20%. So that's really good. I was pretty happy with that. The next one was the fat mass over height squared, which is a result of 4.6, and the normal range is 3 to 6. So smack in the middle there. Now, the next one was the waist to hip ratio. So obviously, the smaller your waist measurement compared to your hip, the better that result's going to be. And for me, if I put on any additional body fat, it's always going to be straight around the middle. So that might explain that score, and I'm going to see if I can make an improvement on that in the next 3 months. And the last one is that I just want to quickly touch on is the lean mass over height squared. So for that one, I've got what are classified as high lean muscle mass, and the normal range is between 18 to 21. So I put that down to almost 40 years of weight training. I think it's just an example of how weight-bearing exercise and weight training can help your body maintain lean muscle tissue, which becomes really important as you get older. I'm 53 now. I'm interested in maintaining my muscle mass or even adding to it. And so I feel like I'm doing a good job in that regard. Now, the final result I want to look at is the summary right at the bottom of the bone density. And it's the Z score and the T score. I'll just zoom it in a bit more. There we go. So basically they're measuring the density of minerals in your bones using the DEXA. And so I've got a Z score of 1.3 and T score of 1.0. So I don't really understand the 1.3. I think it's like my results for the Z score is comparing to the same peer group. So men in my age group. So it's just 1.3 standard deviations above the normal, I think. Anyway, so it's 119% of what the average is. So I've got 19% additional bone density as other people in my age group, which I'm pretty happy with. And then the T score compares my results to young males age 30. And for that one, I got 113%. So I'm 13% higher than the average, which I'm also super stoked about. And the bone density score, I think, is also to do with weight training and weight bearing exercise. Like I said, I've been doing it for almost 40 years. And I think that just illustrates how, and obviously diet and eating is part of that. But weight bearing exercise is one of those factors that really impacts your bone health and your bone density. And I think as you get older, it's really important that you do some sort of weight bearing exercise because of how it affects your bone health. So that's all I wanted to go through today. Hopefully that gives you a bit more understanding of what a DEXA scan is. I'm planning to go back in a few months' time and see what my updated results are. Let me know in the comments if you've had a DEXA scan, what results you got, and if you've got any questions, I'll try and answer them as best as I can. And I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.